Right now.
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 Because it's time to right now.
Right now.
Right
Right now.
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 Because it's time to right now.
Welcome to another daily motivation stream. I'm your host Kaufman, and today we're going to do what we do most days, and we're going to get some writing in. So welcome. We're going to do one solid writing sprint. I'm going to aim for 40 minutes and see just what we can start off the week with. Whether you had a crazy weekend or maybe you've been on the vibe as you've been making some solid progress this month with our August writing challenge. So we're going to see just what we can accomplish on Monday. Mondays are always a great way to start the week, set some motivation, set your intention, figure out what am I going to accomplish this week. Whether you're writing 2 times this week, 3 times, 4 times, or every single day. You know me, Kaufman, working on the Last Scarecrow, and I am going to see if we can save Scarecrow. We're going to see just what we have in store for Scarecrow. So I'm going to hop right into it, and we will have fun. Feel free to come join in the chat. I'll come join you and we'll chat it up with everyone else. Hey, what's up? My bad. Welcome back, my friend. Hope the writing vibe has been treating you well. Blast, welcome. Hopefully, we're getting in some great writing vibes for a Monday. Hey, what's up, Neil? Hoping the writing vibe is treating everyone well. Where I'm at, I am finishing off my Pebble the Pixie POV. She's trying to save Scarecrow, so we're going to see this bit. That's where I'm at. Would love to hear what you all are working on today, or hopefully what progress we're trying to make this week. And hey, what's up, Emily? Welcome. So let's get into it. As you can see, I have the writing stuff set up, and I think I'm already on my end. I'll come join you in the chat if you want to chat it up, or if you want to have questions, just drop a question in the comment. But I'm all ready. So whether you are writing, brainstorming, editing, revising, or maybe you're just planning it out and you're ready to get into it, come join us because it's time to write now. All right. And that was the writing sprint. How did that writing sprint treat you? Hopefully, you were able to make a little bit of progress that time. I feel like we were able to do a little bit today. I felt pretty good about being able to finish that section. How far did I get in that sprint? I think I wrapped about, let's see, because I finished that little section. Let's see. Oh wow, 900 words. Yeah, I mean that beat is a little longer than I would like. I want to try to see if I can shave it off by about a page, but maybe in a later draft. For now, it'll be fine. Oh man, oh man, the stakes are getting crazy in this part of the story. That's for sure. Oh man. Let's see. By the way, so how did that writing sprint treat you? Were you able to make any progress? Hopefully, we got a little bit farther on our word count. Let's see. Echoes said you've been sitting on an unfinished book for years, haven't touched it in ages. I have to poke my head in from time to time. And so, you ever have trouble picking up something you haven't revisited for a long time and wonder who was that guy who that wrote that? And I mean, I could totally see that. And I think it's also because we grow, right? As both as writers and then as people. And then sometimes where our headspace is for telling and crafting a story at one phase of our life can be completely different than where we're at another phase. It's interesting because when I go back and I look at previous stories, I probably have well over like 50 projects in my catalog, and they're just a mix of a bunch of different genres and projects. And I look at older ones and I ask myself, I'm like, where was the storytelling at? Where were the themes, the characters, and all of that? And it's always interesting. I feel like it reminds me of where my mind was at writing wise at that point in my life. But then sometimes it makes me think of like, oh, okay, well, maybe I want to return to that project. Or you know what? Maybe that just won't be the right project for me to finish. So I think that's always an interesting debate. So I always tell writers, like, if you're going to take a break from a project, be intentional with your return. So that way you don't stop and never come back, right? At least if you want to finish a book. Otherwise, we never end up getting our books published and finished. So, and I can totally see like that happens to a lot of people too, Echoes Rhymes. Hopefully you're able to get back to your book, or maybe it's a sign to like start a new project. Maybe it'll be a sign for you to start something new and get back into the vibe. Nice blast. You're like finished chapter 6 and started on 7. That's what's up. You're making some good progress as well, my friend. I'm happy for you. Emily, you're like writing in 121 words for one chapter that I'm currently writing. I'm in chapter 8, by the way. Nice. Nice. Sounds like you're making a little bit of a headway on your book as well. What chapter am I on? That's a good question. I'm like, what chapter am I on? I am on chapter 26. Yeah, so I'm on chapter 26. Chapter 27 is the midpoint of my book. So I'm on chapter 26 out of technically 55 chapters. 55 chapters and an epilogue. Wow. Oh my goodness. So much craziness. Oh man. I want to get to the fourth part is so much fun. Oh, I want to get to book 4. I want to get to the fourth part of this book. So fun. Man. So much craziness. So much crazy stuff. Oh man, well, we'll see. We'll see. It's crazy because I've been on this part of the book for some months now. So it's like I'm getting close to the end of this part of the story arc, and as I'm going to start thinking and turning my head towards like that next section of the book because it changes tonally at that part of their adventures. It's always interesting. Nice blast. Like you pull it out of your attempt at a novel from high school. It's fun and made you giggle. Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting, especially if we pull stuff out from when we were like super young. I know I wrote my first book when I was throughout middle school, high school. And whenever I look back at it, I'm like, wow, I've come so far. Like, wow, so many structuring and grammatical and developmental opportunities. I was so young. And I think for me, I'm just like in awe. I'm like, wow, I've just grown so much. And I'm like, well, it would be a lot of work to go back to that. So then I'm like, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'll see how I feel. Play it by ear. Oh man. I'm pretty happy with Scarecrow though. I'm very happy with it. I want to get to the end of the book. Bit by bit, my friends. Well, I'm just kind of like looking at the table of contents. Bit by bit. All right. Well, it sounds like we've made some solid progress for today. I'm glad we were able to make a little bit of a push with our writing. Let's see. What do we got queued up for this week? I want to say that Saturday we have a specialty live stream. So we'll be doing something fun with Canva for helping writers in the community who are trying to need to make book covers or make art for their book. So we're going to be doing a really cool workshop tutorial for the community. And I'm going to be joined by a special guest, another fellow writer from the community. It's going to be super cool. We're going to do a little bit of a deep dive. It's going to be fun. We're also going to be revealing something really, really cool. So for anyone who is who's been around the community for the last couple months, we'll be showing something really cool. So that will be on Saturday. On Wednesday, I believe we have YouTube channel member workshop talking about genre and tropes. So what are genre trends and tropes to be aware of when you're working and writing for a readership, and how do you balance listening to your readership while also balance what you want to achieve as a writer? So I think it's definitely a learning game. We'll be deep diving into that on our Wednesday workshop, and I'll be back tomorrow for another daily writing sprint. Same time, same place, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern. I'll be here. Come join us. Come join me, us, and all our characters. All right, my friends. Thanks so much for joining me today. That has been great. Don't forget, tap that like button on your way out. Help us show the algorithm that writing streams are cool. All right, my friends. Thank you. But unfortunately, that brings us to the end of the stream. Don't forget, words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers. Words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers. It's time to write.
Right now.
Sorry.
Right now, not right now, but right now. Read now, right now.